I was choosing like
Oh
how
my
to
God, I didn't
how to
think
make
she'd
the
talk about art
opera,
pop.
and you know, it was
Whoa.
not really happening in mainstream music.
At
That
all.
one track would change that much. The groove would sometimes change. It would completely not
Reinvent itself.
be
Track after track after
expected. It was
track after
very
track.
disruptive. It was not easy listening. It was basically like me going, I'll do what I want, and
Thank
and
God.
I'll do it. I'll do it my way. But what's so interesting is I've become a notorious being. Find my clone, she's asleep on the ceiling. It's almost like comical, this idea that
Lyrics.
anytime I'm in the room with, art pop was a vibe. Joanne
Oh,
was a
such a
sound.
vibe.
Chromatica had a sound. All different. The Fame Monster was
Such
more
a
chaotic.
vibe.
The Fame was theatrical pop. Born This Way to me had more of like a metal electro New York vibe to it. So I actually made the effort making Mayhem to not do that and not try to. But isn't it amazing?
Amazing.
Music is
Music is
such a
so
powerful
powerful.
force, and it gives.
Really quick, I'm gonna pause. I have brain cancer. Horrifying photo on the screen. But because of my radiation treatment, all my surgeries, and chemotherapy, everything, my memory is awful. I am a disabled person because of it. I don't remember anything, but you can still play a song that I heard from Kesha in 2010, an unreleased track. It never was even officially released. I will know every lyric because music is so powerful.
People life, and
So powerful.
it changes the.
Did you hear the news? Tomorrow, Lady Gaga releases Mayhem. Guys, I am so overjoyed, so excited. Yes, I will be uploading my reaction to it. Yes, that will be up as soon as the album comes out or as soon as I can finish editing it. But guys, also in the meantime, on Apple Music, Lady Gaga uploaded an interview with Zane Lowe. I don't know what that is. I don't know who that is. I'm not an Apple lover. I'm not going to say that I don't like Apple because I do like a lot of the things they do interview-wise with Apple Music. I think that's really cool. Here, motherfucker, making a bonus clip, you stupid, dumb, worthless bitch. Always have the wrong fucking screen up. That would be a bonus clip. I'm a mess. I'm sorry. I'm also a liar. I'm too lazy to edit it at the end of the video. I wanted to just leave it in. But guys, I'm currently eating my Hot Ones Pringles. The last time I ate these was when I uploaded my Lady Gaga Hot Ones reaction. I will have that on the screen and also linked down below if you like these longer interview style reactions. They're fun. But I couldn't eat these because it was so fucking hot. So Gaga, don't ask me how the hell you went on that journey because that was crazy. Just watching, oh my God, 2 million like heat ranking, whatever the hell it was. But I'm eating them with queso. Me getting the queso and all that stuff. It's gonna be a Sunday vlog. It was kind of a crazy experience. Shut the fuck up. Enjoy the reaction. It's gonna start right now. I love you. I'm a mess. But also check out the video because it is fun. But yeah, so this is her interview with Zane Lowe of Apple Music. Super excited. The description says Lady Gaga talks Zane Lowe through the journey of her new album Mayhem in New York City. Here we go. New York City, NYC.
I'm like really trying to like get my energy up and be cool and funny, but like when I come down here, I have a huge feeling in my heart that is so like powerful.
I felt like you were back there for a minute when you walked in, and I've been in places like that.
Yeah, I really wanted to be here with you to have this
cool.
conversation because this place was so like impactful to my life.
Yeah, where she probably started, right? How crazy.
And this is where I like built my like artistic soul with the community that lived here.
That's very cute.
We all good? Cool.
I know in places like this. This is a real
A dive bar.
Lower East Side. It doesn't change.
That's right.
You never want it to change.
No, this is where all the cool kids hang out.
This is where all the names get chucked in the toilets and on the bathroom, and somehow you'll find yourself in and amongst layer after layer of identity.
Wow.
That's right. That's right. And I feel like it was here that I learned being different and being artistic and being, what other people thought was weird.
Yeah.
Was actually like a community that I could be a part of.
Because you learned together.
Yeah, and we supported each other in all of our creativity and our imaginations. And I used to write songs at the bar over here with a PBR and a shot.
Wow. So
Yeah.
you just literally come in here
How
and start jotting down
crazy.
ideas.
Yeah, I mean, I actually really liked writing on napkins. I just thought it was kind of romantic.
Tell me you still got those.
I do. I do. My mom kept them. But this place was really special to me because it was just a few blocks from the house and it was open during the day. And I would often write music during the day and I would work at night. So
That is
I spent
so
a lot of time here.
cool.
And I made like lifelong friends.
Do you used to play?
I did used to play. I really sucked at pool.
I mean, I think you might have a go at that one and you might get
I
lucky.
don't know.
No, man.
I had with my gloves. See,
Oh,
this
that's
is
good.
I love them
exactly-
playing
It's
pool.
perfect. Yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect.
Wow.
Oh,
shit.
see? I'm so bad.
Good.
I was good at drinking and writing music, and I loved having drinks with friends. And
Yeah.
yeah, we used to party, and we used to make music.
What a simple time.
It was an amazing time.
I'm excited to sit down and get into where you are today, though, in this amazing album, Mayhem. I know fans are so excited about this record. I feel very privileged to be able to have a conversation with you and we can all share that with everybody.
Thank you.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not here anymore, but Mayhem definitely began here.
Interesting.
You know what
Smile,
I'm-
you're on camera.
Like really reminded of being in here is that like nothing was more powerful than living down here and finding myself and becoming Gaga.
Do you remember the moment when you became Lady Gaga? Like, it was like, okay, I see it.
I was working on some music and I was making all this like theatrical pop and some of which ended up on The Fame, my first studio album. And I just really wanted to change my name. It didn't feel like it matched the person that I was becoming. And I was in my apartment on Stanton Street and I just came up with it. I was listening a lot to Queen, and I thought of the song Radio Gaga, and then I thought, what if I put Lady in front of it? And you know, that felt kind of like, it was sort of inspired by all like the club kids around here, and also all of the art that I would see that we would all make to throw parties. Like,
Art.
we had the coolest art to throw parties down here, and seeing other people's personas like Lady Starlight, Darian Darling, Breedlove, Tommy London, Anna Copacabana, Justin Tranter, and Semi-Precious Weapons, like who's now like a huge
Semi-Precious Weapons,
songwriter,
I
who's
uploaded my
incredibly
reaction to
talented.
that
We
video
were,
and it
like,
did
all down here, and
awful.
watching them,
It did
I
so
was
bad.
like, oh, I can be the artist of my own life. So they really inspired me, and you know, it still does. I mean, this is, I mean, you can't miss the vibe here.
No.
And it's not just any dive bar. And people that hung out down
vibe.
here when I was down here, I know that they would say the same thing, that there was like something special about this area. And you know, I bet there's like people down here now that like feel that way.
You know, you said recently something really great and reassuring for fans. You said, I love being Lady Gaga. Have there been times more recently, I would say within years, where that hasn't always been the case, where you had to rediscover that passion for the identity that you've built over the course of your music? And
Yeah, it's definitely like can be complicated. I think that my earliest memories as Gaga were like so powerful because they were like formative and free. And then my career was such a blessing, but as it took off, I think the way that
Yeah, you lose the intimacy.
like other people
for
related
sure.
to me as like a superstar, like not that I didn't want to be one, but like almost something outside of the artistry.
I always think the
that
objective,
make sense?
it does, because I always think when I talk to artists like yourselves who have such a strong artistic identity and come through the other side of that phase, that the general perception is that objectification, for lack of a better term, of one's star power
Yeah.
is a frog in a pot of boiling water, that you want it and then you realize, do I actually have ownership over that anymore?
Right. And like what people love about you can kind of be different for everyone, right? Maybe they love your music or they love your stage performances, or maybe it's your clothes, or and like the pressures of like combining my artistry with being a pop star was
Right.
like really interesting and sometimes hard because
How
people have
cool.
opinions about how you should look and how you should like move through the world, and
Yeah, people are
that's like not
dicks.
what this was about at all. Like this was like you were you,
Yeah.
and who you were and what made you was your superpower. It wasn't like telling each other what to do, or you should do your art this way. No,
Being
it was like
authentically you.
it was us supporting each other in what we did, and also it was about like, what records are you listening to, like what art books are you reading, what movies are you watching, like what bands are you going to see, how often do you rehearse, like what's your relationship with your craft. And I think, something I want my fans to know now, which is why I said I love being Lady Gaga, is I actually returned back to my artistry like recently in a huge way, making this album. Like I put so much of myself as a musician, as a producer, as a songwriter, into everything. And that is who Lady Gaga is, like, to me. Like,
really
maybe
cool.
to someone else, it might be, the meat dress or, something that I did that
The
they
meat dress.
remember as me. But for me,
That's funny.
I always want to
I
be
saw
remembered
that
for being
in real life at the Rock and
a
Roll
real
Hall of Fame.
artist, and as someone that like cares so
Cleveland,
much
Ohio.
about a
was
life
cool.
of art.
You may not
lived
realize
there
this.
for a
Let me just
while.
remind you that you got the three-peat. Like, you have a hit now in your third decade.
Yeah.
And that is an incredible achievement. Abracadabra is, look, we got the message. I mean, these fan posts, like, look at how your fans interact with your music is absolutely amazing. You've probably seen this one. But,
Yeah, I love him. I know.
and then real production, like real commitment.
Yep.
And then this one here makes me laugh as well, because Kat here.
Gaga because you sign one more thing. I've been trying to
So, the internet.
Your fans are really showing up.
The internet.
They agree. They're hearing it, right? In Abracadabra and in the music.
Yeah, I think, like it's my job to make music that moves them and speaks to them, and all you can do is your best and work your hardest. And I think I didn't want to make this kind of music for a long time, even though I had it in me. And I think Abracadabra is very much my sound, like something that I kind of honed in after many years, and I wanted to do it again. And I felt like being stagnant was just death in my artistry, and I just really wanted to constantly be a student and not just reinvent myself, but learn something new with every record. And that wasn't always what people wanted from me, but
Very cool.
that's what I wanted from me. And it's the thing that I'm the most probably proud of if I look back on my career, is I like know how much I like grew from record to record and how authentic it all was. That the thing that was most important to me was being a student of music above everything else. But like, I was able to be a student of music with this album, but in a new way, where I was sort of asking myself hard questions, like, what really does define you? And like, what is your personal mayhem? What do you struggle with? Like, what's the thing that you're always trying to live up to from your past?
Hard question. That's a hard question.
It is a hard question. And, what are your sounds? And what is what is the music of your soul? Like, how can you go back to your earliest memories with music and put that into this album?
With
like,
everything you've learned along the
with
way.
everything
through
you've
the
learned.
chromaticas and the
What a
Joannes and
fun
the art
interview.
pops.
How
all the
cool.
things that were important
And the art
steps. I
pops.
hear them all on
Aw.
this record.
Thank you.
It feels
The
to
art
me how,
pops.
in a strange way, you get to
Please.
revisit some of those artistic steps you took on an album like Art Pop and apply a little more experience and a little more life into them.
I
and
need
say,
art
hey,
pop
look, I
too
can
still
breathe
to
life
this
into
day.
that me
I don't
again.
care what anyone says.
Yeah, I mean,
I've never
Art
needed
Pop
anything
was a very special album to me. I was
I didn't think she'd talk about
just like
it.
on my previous records, handpicking the producers that I was gonna co-produce with. I was choosing like how
my
to
God, I didn't
how to
think she'd
make the
talk about
opera,
Art Pop.
and it
Whoa.
was not really happening in mainstream music
At
that
all.
one track would change that much. The groove would sometimes change. It would completely not
Reinvent itself.
be
track after
expected.
track,
It was
track after
very
track.
disruptive. It was not easy listening. It was basically like me going, I'll do what I want. And
Thank
and
God.
I'll do it I'll do it my way. But what's so interesting is I always did that. It's
Yeah.
just for some reason that record was like viewed as more defiant. I think because I was also fighting against some of the newer things in my life, like
such a great album.
you know, living up to my new image and wanting to break that. So, you know, I
have
like never
every
dressed
pressing
the
of it
same, and
ever
my hair was
released.
always different. And you know, art
Even
pop
the
was
original
more
one with the
a
cut track.
concept and a philosophy more than it was an aesthetic.
But it was definitely a statement,
On
and it's
vinyl.
interesting. You become successful, and it's natural for anybody in business, even with the best of intentions or not, to want to templatize that, to want to say, "Hey, look, this is working." You know, yeah, you know, but it's not working for me.
Yeah, and then like it's like what it also just depends on what your goals are
Right.
as an artist. You know, if for me my goal was always to be a student, so that meant I had to do things I hadn't done before.
Yeah.
Because if I was always treading old ground, I didn't feel like I was learning as much.
You wouldn't be here now like this. It would have run its
No,
course.
and it was
and-
so cool to like. Madion was like a kid, you know,
like
and I
17 or 18.
Yeah, and I was like, "What are we gonna do?" And then we like made all this amazing music together, and Zed was just like popping off, and I was like, "How are we gonna do this?" And DJ White Shadow, and
Zed. I love Zed.
we were listening to like, you know, Gustaffelstein, who I worked with on
the
this
song
record,
True
and he
Colours
knew
with
that when
Kesha
I worked
is-
with him on Mayhem. I said, "I've been trying to work with you for over 10 years," and he was like, "Here I am," and like it was.
Perfect.
The music that you fall in love with, the art, like, and for
So
me,
perfect.
that is so me. I'm not like a fleeting music fan where I just like for the album go, I'm gonna find new things only, and then I'm gonna let all of those things inspire me, but they'll be things I listen to for a month. No, like Mayhem was made off of inspiration of loving artists, music producers, and sound that I've been studying for like at least a decade. So it's like
Wow.
that's all ruminating in me as a student, and
Rumination.
and to me, like Abracadabra, even though it
Illumination.
has my DNA in it, even though Mayhem has my DNA in it, it also doesn't sound the way that the Fame Monster did or the way the Fame did. So it's like my way of thinking of music as being cross-genre, being able to combine lots of different things at the same time. That is who I am as a musician, and I've always been that way. And that is what Mayhem is all about. It's like the mayhem of like being a non-linear artist and
Individual.
with this album, embracing that about myself instead of being like, okay, I have to like fit it into this one thing.
You know, Abracadabra is such a smash as of recording. Right now we're filming, and it's unstoppable. Does it feel different? You've had, like I said, hits over 3 decades. How does this one feel different?
You know, it's just like, I don't know. It's its own thing, you know? It's every song is different. I think people were happy to reconnect with my artistry through this song.
I think we wanted to see you dance too.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Right?
and for a while, like that was not super easy for me. So that was amazing too. I love dancing.
How did you get back to a place where it felt good to dance and not like you had to work extra hard through pain to dance?
I just got much healthier. I have good people in my life. I fell in love with Michael. As a songwriter, you need life to inspire your writing. And if everything is like
Ignore me as I get a snap.
promotion,
Yeah.
it kind of like, then I'll write about promotion and I won't write about like that special moment I shared with you where like, you know, Michael asked me how I would want him to propose to me one day. We were in our backyard and I said, just, you know, take a blade of grass and wrap it around my finger. And then I wrote blade of grass because I remembered the way his face looked and I remembered the grass in the backyard. And I remember thinking he should use that really long grass that's in the center of the backyard. And it
Oh
was,
my God.
But those moments, to me, at a certain point,
Little
I was
sneak
like
peek at the
into like
song.
the idea of fame and
Wow.
artifice and like being the, you know, the conductor of your own life when it came to like your own inner sense of fame. So I had to fight
That's
a lot
awesome.
harder to make music and dance a little bit later into my career because my life became so different that I didn't have as much life around me to inspire me. It like all became this one other thing. And then I think my fans were like, why isn't she promoting things? And like, where is she? But like, I needed to go live life to have a full life and also to give back to, you know, my true gift. And that was one of the sweetest things that I think Michael ever said to me as my partner is he was like, you know, who you are is you're an artist. Like that's the thing that makes you the most happy. So like, you know, we need to like nurture that part of you. And he reminded me that the other stuff was maybe sometimes hard for me and like making it more difficult. And so like keeping me away from what I love.
It seems like the kind of thing you would say to someone as a friend or as a loved one or a partner that is so obvious to him, and yet for you to hear that, to your point, it's so deep because your journey, let's talk about Perfect Celebrity. I mean,
I can't believe you brought that one up.
I mean,
second. I knew you might.
You knew well, because like you attacked Fame. Fame didn't have a chance. Like when you were coming out, right, you went in, all in. Mm-hmm. And you were out the other side, so we're gonna get there. You and I are gonna get there in conversation. But now that you're through, are you any clearer in understanding what the motivation was behind that
I just wish
desire
Spotify would have the lyrics
to
when
want
this
to
album
achieve that
releases,
level
but they
of-
don't.
of
It drives me
success and
nuts.
You know, yes and no. I'm not sure. I
Makes
think
me
what
so
I'm dealing
angry.
with on Perfect Celebrity is like a lot of like anger that I feel towards myself.
Right.
About like
Wow.
what is this thing inside of you that you needed that? Like
Yeah.
why are you this way? And the song is almost like humorous in the way that I'm talking.
It's angry though as well.
But it's super angry, and,
Yeah.
and you know, I've become a notorious being. Find my clone, she's asleep on the ceiling. It's almost like comical, this idea that
Lyrics!
anytime I'm in the room with anyone, there's me, Stephanie, and Lady Gaga asleep on the ceiling, and I have to like figure out which body to be in. It's like kind of intense, but that was an important song on this album because it didn't feel honest to me on Mayhem to exclude something that had that kind of anger in it, because then it felt like I was like trying to be a good girl or whatever.
Wow.
And be something that I'm not actually. That you know, part of my personal mayhem is that like
I would
I
love
have
some
joy and
metal
celebration,
influences
but I'm
or
also
like heavy rock on
sometimes
that track.
angry or
I would
super
love it.
sad or like really celebratory or
Wow.
completely insecure and have no confidence. So like the album has all of that. And I don't know that I've done that on a record, actually. I don't know like if I've ever, I think I have in a way, but Perfect Celebrity, for example, is probably the most angry
I don't
song.
think you've ever done it in a song. I mean,
No.
it's all in a song.
There's rage in my music for sure,
Yeah.
for a long time. But like in a song where I'm just so implicitly calling out and also like making a mockery out of this thing
That's
that
the
I went
important
after.
part of it. You know, I think that there's been examples of people who've taken a step back from celebrity and fame and tried to find, with all the best of intentions, a pathway through to expressing what that's like. But what you're doing is
You got
still
the
doing it from inside the room
individualism
and the
still.
experience. And it's a fox in the hen house. Like, you think that you're going to get away from it, but it will get you.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
It just will.
It will. And did I do it to myself? You know, like, and I thought about the 90s too when I made that record. There was a lot of 90s energy in that song.
I think that was one of the most brutal eras for that. We lost incredible people because of the pressures of that.
Incredible people, amazing artists, powerful music. I mean, the 90s is how I fell in love with music as a teenager, you know? And it was like, and, you know, in the studio, we all kind of shared that in common as well, like a love of that time. And so the album also like has, you know, Perfect Celebrity is sort of an electro grunge song.
Yeah.
And it was also inspired by The Cure and this song Never Enough that I used to play in my apartment like a million times before I walked into this bar. And so it had that influence as well. So that was sort of the like electro influence that came into it. But so to give you an idea of how I made this album is that after I made that song, then I was like, we need to change all the production. Like I wanted to change everything.
We landed on something.
Yeah, I was like, we have to change everything. And then I went back and I said, no, we shouldn't change everything. Because if I was to simply decide I was gonna now make an entire electro grunge album, it would be just to like try to saint myself as randomly cool in the middle of my project. And I actually thought that was boring and not at all what Mayhem is all about. And that like the true chaos of who I am is that
Wow. So we
I
get a
actually
lot
am
of
a lot
different
more than just
sounds.
these concepts. I'm like so many concepts at once when I'm
Because
working.
wasn't Perfect Celebrity at one point a working title for the album?
Yes.
And so yeah, that makes total sense because coming back to Mayhem frees you from that, right? From that controlled
Yes.
expression. And it's like, no. The more chaotic and free form,
The more it feels like me. You know, art pop was a vibe. Joanne was a sound.
Such a vibe.
You know, Chromatica had a sound. All different. The Fame Monster was
Such
more
a
chaotic.
vibe.
The Fame was theatrical pop. Born This Way to me had more of like a, you know, like metal electro New York vibe to it. So I actually made the effort making Mayhem to not do that and not try to give my music an outfit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But instead to like allow myself to be influenced by everything. And that
Multiple
was
genres.
how
Wow.
I discovered my songwriting and production abilities as a kid. So that was a special experience. And then like still some of that influence, though, the electro grunge influence made it still onto other songs that were some were like industrial, some were like 2000s throwbacks, like Garden
That's
of Eden.
very cool.
And then there was there's a song called Can't Stop the High that you haven't heard that's on the version of the album that's on my website only, and that is like a pure electro grunge record that like goes even
Wow.
harder.
Website only?
than
Why did I not know
Perfect
about
Celebrity
that?
Does.
how many
So
songs do you think over the course of that period of time?
did we make?
Yeah, for the album.
I mean, probably 50. I mean, like so much music, and we didn't use it all. But
Get Us Up Part 2.
it's my favorite record in a long time. I feel like it has some teeth.
It has some teeth.
You know, it has some teeth.
Bangs.
It is real.
I mean, The Beast is a revenge record. I don't know who it's revenge against. And I know that the lyrics don't necessarily reflect that, but the energy of that performance and the arrangement and sound design on that song is coming from something unresolved. That's what I hear.
Yeah, you know, so the album is a series of gothic dreams, I say. It's like images of the past that haunt me. And they somehow find their way into like who I am today. In that record, it is, you know, me or like someone singing to their lover who's a werewolf. But I actually like, what I believe about this is this record is also about
What the fuck?
Michael and I, and that this song is also about me and being Lady Gaga. Like what the Beast is, who I become when I'm on stage and who I am when I make my art. And you know, the pre-chorus
Here
of
she
that
is with
song is
Michael.
you
Aw.
can't hide who you are. 11:59, your heart's racing, you're growling, and we both know why. And it's like somebody that is saying to the Beast, like, I know you're a monster, but I can handle you and I love you.
Is there a relationship with that lyric and the lyric that follows in Blade of
Wow.
Brass, where it's really a really poignant observation you make from his point of view? How can a man like me love a woman like you?
Yeah.
Are they
100%.
they're related, right? They know each other.
100%. Yeah, I mean, Michael's like an incredibly warm-hearted, kind, non like entertainment or fame-oriented person. We have completely different respective backgrounds. Although
How
he's very
neat.
creative and very artistically minded. You know, I don't know that he ever thought that like he would like ever be with someone like me. We're like so different in that way. But we've really built a friendship and a bond over how to like each share each other's mayhem with each other, and like we're like doing it together now.
I love how the fans have embraced him as well. Look, it's
Crazy.
when you have such a personal relationship with your fan base like you do. I think it's important everybody knows that is you commenting on those posts and it's not somebody else.
Yeah, I love talking to my fans. I mean, I used to backstage after the Born This Way ball hang out backstage with fans that I would pull from the Monster Pit, which was like, you know, like the air, like I made this like special area that if you showed up early to the gates for the show, people would like sleep, you know, for like a week sometimes to
Oh my
get in
God.
early. Like the first monster got a monster key, and then I would choose like
neat.
20 to 30 fans to come backstage, and I'd
They
hang
still
out with
have
everyone
that?
and
They
ask
have
them
to,
about their
right? You couldn't get
lives,
rid of
and
it.
helped me get to know
Wow.
I was singing to.
And they feel like they know you. And that's, I think, why, you know, this relationship that you have, having the courage to make it normal. There's no private, there is normal.
Yeah.
And I think it's really beautiful. I mean, I was talking to a friend of mine who's a big fan, and he sees this kind of relationship that makes you happy and builds it through. And that must just give you so much fulfillment, knowing that both can be true.
Yeah, I have both now. I have, like, my home used to only be the stage.
How lonely.
It was so lonely. And also, it is so much more fun to, like, take somebody up there with you, you know? Like, someone that loves you, that that knows what you're capable of in all the various aspects of life. You know, I think that there's
I
nothing
really don't
that
know
could, like,
much
bring
about
a
Michael
tear to
at
my
all,
eye,
but
I
how
think,
beautiful, how
more
very cool.
on a daily basis than knowing that I mean also so much to somebody in a way that isn't about, like, what I'm doing on stage or what I'm, like, my song or what I'm wearing. Like, it's like he's so, like, grateful if I make him a double decaf espresso over ice, because that's his favorite, you know, and that's, like, a huge part of who I am.
cute.
And,
Oh,
you know,
sweet.
mattering to somebody just for being a, you know, me, like a girl,
Yourself,
like
yeah.
that means a lot. But also, like, to
girl.
be embraced also, in that he will say to me, like, the
That's
thing you
funny.
have to do to get yourself ready to go do that is, like, so intense. Like, he just wants me to be okay, and he wants to, he's my real friend. I mean, that's what I would say. Like, if my fans are, like, wondering anything about my relationship that they could, like, keep with them, it's that, like, I made a real friend, and also that he teaches me so much.
Yeah, like what? Give us
That's
an example, if
beautiful.
you wouldn't mind, about something that, you know, you could never have learned or from anyone but him.
I mean, he re-inspired me in my life to know that, like, living as an independent woman would make me feel happy. Like, doing things for myself, having my day on my terms. He taught me a lot about my own business and helped me. He, like, helped me to stay, like, balanced and grounded at home too, when I'm, like, working. And as we were making the album together, I didn't, like,
Oh my God, she made it with
I
him.
didn't
How
fall
cool.
completely into an abyss of fantasy. I was, like, able to always ground and come back to home, and that
abyss.
makes the work better, and it makes me happier. And I mean, honestly, he's taught me a lot.
Must have been so healing as well to, I love that quote when Ed Vedder, I mentioned this before, when in the Pearl Jam documentary, he talks about meeting Neil Young and saying it was just so great to finally meet a grown-up I could count on.
Yeah, it's so true. Being able to count on somebody is something we all need. You know, being able to have, like, someone that always has your back no matter what, I
Yeah.
think is, yeah, I feel super grateful.
I still can't get over it.
Shadow of a Man
50
is a powerful
songs.
record.
Thank you.
What would you like to share about that song?
I mean, that song is, like,
I also hate
so much a
songs
response
being
to
called
my
records.
career.
Call them
Yeah.
and
tracks.
what it always felt like to be
It's so
the
weird to
only
me.
girl in the room a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And to always be, like, standing in the shadow
Even
of
if
a
they aren't
man,
singles,
because
call
there
them
were so many
tracks.
around me
Yeah.
that I learned how to dance,
You know?
in that shadow.
And now you have a male friend in your life that you can count on. I guess you have the perspective to be able to see it for what it was. Even
Well,
with
I
more
don't feel like
clarity.
I don't feel
that how it is?
controlled or
Yeah.
oppressed. I feel free.
Yeah.
When I made that song, I was imagining actually that I was singing walking down these streets. Like, I still am so inspired by this town and that feeling. Like, if I could give anyone, you know, a feeling or a memory or an experience of mine that I've had, the first would be the power of learning other people's stories and being available to, like, understand another person in the world. Like, that's been the most giving, beautiful thing that I've experienced. And then I would say your own artistic energy and the fight and the, like, your own ability to persevere and to, like, dance through life
Dance
knowing
through
that
the
like
fuckery.
you might not win sometimes.
It's such a powerful image, the idea of dancing through that kind of adversity, because through artists like yourself and your peers who've come before you and since, we're getting a much clearer picture about how challenging it has been and remains to be a woman in the music industry, in any industry, in any walk of life. And I think it's really powerful when songs like that get made, because we get a step closer to understanding what could have been better.
Thank you. I don't think I've ever made a song like that. You know, it's defiant, and it's also fun. It's powerful.
Yeah.
But women in music are a force. People love women in music, and also for as many people love women in music, I also think women in music are heavily criticized.
Oh, overly
And
criticized.
I wish so much for no one in the world to be living life where they're heavily criticized every day. And I'm really grateful for what I do, and I don't mean that in a way to like complain about this incredible life that I have, but I do feel like, you know, a sense of love for people that, you know, like misogyny is real too, and
Oh, for sure.
wanting women to, you know, be good little girls all the time is
Terrifying.
super damaging. And I think the more that we can support each other in speaking our truth and protecting ourselves and saying what we need and what we, you know, what we all deserve, I think women deserve to be loved in that way. And I think, you know, that also I can say, you know, being a woman in this world that like cares about, you know, the artistry of my outward facing persona, that we also deserve to be able to wear what we want and express ourselves how we want to in a free and happy space.
It feels kind of hard to express yourself. And this goes for anybody right now who feels strongly about something, because it doesn't feel as free or happy
Express
as the
yourself.
space at the moment.
Yeah, and I faced that on Mayhem too. I will say, like, I'm 38 years old, and I was like, well, you know, I'm
38.
not 20 anymore, and
Yeah.
you know, I don't know if I'll be accepted as I grow up
Crazy.
and get older.
Yeah.
I still feel young, but that was a part of this album as well. It was a lot of fear of what that will be like, and I ultimately decided that a woman can be powerful at any age.
You've never shied away.
Yeah.
And I've never had a chance to ask you, like, when you're standing on a stage like you did at the Grammys, and you take an opportunity to be an ally and to stand up and say something about a community that probably feels very misunderstood, and if I'm really honest, under attack at the moment.
Yeah.
What that also feels like for you, it's a feeling you have before it's words that you say.
I mean, what I would say first and foremost is what trans people are being faced with in this world is completely unfair, wrong, and there's this like violence that's taking place on a daily basis in their lives. And I think that we all need to support trans people and each other to know that they deserve to be supported and loved and protected and lifted up. And you know what I go through in my life is very different from that. And you know what every community that is oppressed goes through is different. It's all a unique experience. And then there's individual people, and everyone's individual experience is different. So I would just say it's like the most important time ever. I
There
think
isn't
also
chapters in this, is
when
there?
I said
No, okay, good.
learning people's stories
Yeah.
was a great gift. I think for me, I've learned that it's not all one thing, and that, you know, every group of people and every individual person, their unique experience is valuable and deserves to be upheld as their own.
You're making your best music that sounds like the most complete version of you, and yet you still created the space to be able to support through your process, but also through words. That idea of mentorship, did you have mentorship when you were growing up as a young artist?
I mean, Lady Starlight was my greatest mentor, I
Yeah.
think. I don't think I would be here without her. She just taught me so much about life and art and music and fashion, and I had, you know, a vocal teacher, Don Lawrence, who
That's
was a
definitely
mentor.
where
All my
Lady came from,
piano
her name for
teachers,
sure, which is that's very beautiful.
But then, like,
That's very cute.
in a whole other way, like Bruce Springsteen's voice. When I like sit in this bar, I like remember thinking about Bruce Springsteen and sitting at that bar and just being like, how can I be as soulful as he is? You know, Stevie Wonder's voice and his music putting me in an absolute trance as a child. I mean, Prince and having someone that had an imagination like Prince did, making music. Like I'm just naming 3 people. There's like thousands of artists.
And then there are the collaborators as well, the people that have become mentors throughout your life. I love that there's seemingly, at least as far as I can tell, only one collaboration on this record, and that we already know what that is.
Yeah.
That's Die With A Smile,
Yeah.
which is a perfect way to end the record too.
And also, you know, so Bruno's a feature on Die With A Smile, or me and Bruno made Die With A Smile together. Then Gustavo Stein is on Killa.
Yeah.
And we made that record together. And then, I mean, I have to say, it has nothing to do with this album, but when you ask me about mentors, I have to say, like, probably one of the even more meaningful mentors I ever had was Tony Bennett.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you just a few things or a few observations about these key collaborative relationships that I feel have kind of given you something really valuable at certain points in your life, starting with Tony. You know, because we spoke at length about that relationship on the last project that you were able to release together. Now with a little bit of hindsight and a little bit of perspective, you know, what's really stayed with you from that experience and what the conversations and time you spent with him?
He used to just say, stick with quality, kid, you know? And he was right. That was his North Star all the time. Tony was just worried about different things, like, and that inspired me, what his focus was. And that's, you know, it has stayed with me. And as I grow up, I'm like, well, I'm just gonna keep being a musician, and I'm gonna keep working hard at my music and working hard at my songwriting and working hard at my producing. And, you know, the other things matter, but your gift and your talent is what matters. To me, what matters the most. I mean, honestly, I think he could have been singing until he was 110. Like, he was...
Because he knew what was important.
It was the music.
Yeah.
Like, and the music brought him back to life when he couldn't, you know, remember anymore.
I've seen it with my own eyes. We talked about this, but off camera. I mean, the power of the frequency of music and the way that it attaches to our memories. And I've spoken on camera about this only when relevant and important to the conversation, I think. But watching my mother go through cognitive deterioration with her dementia diagnosis and realizing that music brings her back into the room was one of the most powerful realizations of my life.
And I'm so sorry that you have gone through that. It is super painful.
You've been kind to me already about it, and I appreciate it.
It's very painful, but isn't it amazing?
Amazing.
Music is such a powerful force, and it gives...
Really quick, I'm gonna pause. I have brain cancer, horrifying photo on the screen. But because of my radiation treatment, all my surgeries, and chemotherapy, everything, my memory is awful. I am a disabled person because of it. I don't remember anything, but you can still play a song that I heard from Kesha in, 2010? An unreleased track. It never was even officially released. I will know every lyric because music is so powerful.
People life. And
so powerful.
It changes the ether in the room. It's, there's nothing like it. And I will say that I feel so much gratitude that I get to have the feeling of, music is the medicine of my mayhem. Because when I feel like I don't have any clue what I'm doing, I don't have my bearings on what I'm good at, what I suck at, what's the right answer, what's the wrong answer. Yeah. It is music and the real relationships in my life that center me, because music is, it's this thing that I do that I'm so sure when I'm doing it that it's exactly where I'm supposed to be. So it's like a totem, you know, when I get
disoriented,
yeah. And that's some of, I don't know, I think people can relate to that feeling. Mayhem for me is, you know, when life feels really hard.
Every day.
And I'm so lucky to have such an amazing life, but like we all like have our moments. And, you know, there's things I don't share with my fans too. And like some things I'm not ready to share yet, but like just when life throws things at you and, you know, you just get so turned around. And how do you get back? And like for me, I get back with music. And that's how I get back. And all I wanted to do with this record was create music that from start to finish, someone could listen and get back to themselves in some kind of way. And I wanted it to be fun. That's the other thing. Like,
It's mad fun.
it's
Zombie Boy
beautiful
is
chaos.
crazy fun. I mean,
Yeah.
that sounds the most like this area to me than almost any other record on the album.
In a way, thank you.
I feel like this place is going up when I'm hearing that song. Like everyone's already here, it's packed, it's going off, and that's this on the system.
Yeah, and it's like what I love about being in this bar with you and talking about this is when we hung out in this bar, winning in life was like knowing what to play when the jukebox used to be over there.
What did you used to play?
Oh my God, I would play Motorhead and I would play David Bowie and I would play AC/DC and I would play Black Sabbath. It was like we were all having a conversation in here with the music, and it wasn't about like global domination.
When you walked in and you were here, and I wondered, like, in that moment, whether your life since then has felt like the blink of an eye or a river.
Aww.
Both. It definitely feels like both.
Yeah.
It's like I just had like no idea what was gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I'm really grateful that it did. But what I value when I think about this time is not what it not what it gave to me in my career, but the endless memories.
Yeah, they're hard sometimes, aren't they?
The memories
I know.
were so powerful here, and I that will just be in my heart forever. It's, you know, I am so grateful for, and you hear me say it a million times when I talk about this, because I, you know, obviously feel like I need to qualify that piece of myself, and it's true. But it is like, I do feel so happy to be in a place now in my life when I just. The thing that I valued the most in all of this was
I was so intrigued, literally taken aback, because I am so excited for Mayhem. I hope it's okay that I didn't really talk much in this reaction. I just like was so interested in everything that had to be said. I could not even form sentences. Watching it while I'm editing it, I'm like, you dumbass. But at the same time, we're sharing this experience together, and guys, less than 24 hours. I'm so hyped. I hope you are too.
the community, and I left that behind.
Oh, that's the sacrifice. That's a really powerful observation in my life too. I mean, and everyone I've ever spoken to who's lucky enough to still be here, and we talk about what we go through, the highs and the lows. The thing that we really center on when we wonder what it cost is the people.
Yeah, it was
the
the people.
relationships.
And I think part of the Abracadabra video that made it special, honestly, was I spent like real time learning that choreography, working with Paris and working with those dancers. And I got to be, you know, in their community while we made it. And I felt like I belonged. And that feeling made me so happy. And I think it like really translated in the video that I was like with my people.
You might have to get, oh my gosh, this is the Blues Brothers. It's time to get the band back
I
together.
know, it's so, you know, I still
together.
talk to so many people from that time, and but it is like, I don't think they'll ever know how much I valued.
I think they just found out, I hope.
I try to tell them, but.
You know where the community really comes alive? Tour.
Oh my God. The fans are so special, and you know, I'm just like completely wowed when I see them wake up in this magical way. It's almost like the words in Abracadabra, like it woke up all my old friends.
People want to see you, and look, life is different than when you start, and things like tours have to be really worked into what real life is. That's the beautiful balance of growth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
special.
if I had done a poll of all the fans and said one question, this would have been it. You know, do you have a desire to tour? Different or the same, but tour and bring Mayhem to the road.
Yeah, of course I do. Yeah. I mean, I love being on stage. And I enjoy it again in at this time in my life.
The
so for
Mayhem
sure,
Ball.
I'm so excited for Coachella, and it's
Yeah.
all I like ruminate on constantly, like all of my ideas and what to do and how to do it, and what does mayhem mean. You know, how do we bring mayhem to the desert? I'm really excited, you know.
How do we
I
bring
just
mayhem
feel,
to
you
the
know, I feel
desert?
like
How
I'm
cool.
like firing on all my
I live in
cylinders
Vegas,
again,
so
and that it's
that's
super
very neat.
rad. And I
I know
can't
the
wait
desert.
to see
That's fun.
my fans.
Yeah.
You know, and I also can't wait to do it with Michael, you know.
It won't feel as lonely, right? I suppose the way you were describing it before felt to me at least like that was the great distraction from all the things you were missing. As much as it was enjoyment, it was like, hey, I'm here because I don't know what's over there waiting for me. Is that?
After my career took off, I didn't have a sense of home in the same way.
Yeah.
Obviously, I have an amazing family that I love so, so much, and they were always wonderful. Like, I just was away, you know, and I was kind of untethered, and I loved that for a long time, and then I just, like, imploded and was like that, and felt like I didn't have gravity. So now I have gravity, and gravity's good. And like sometimes I joke now and I just will say like I'm boring now and thank God, you know? And it's like, no, but seriously, like maybe I'm not boring in my
Boring.
art for sure. Boring maybe was what I was doing before, where it was like so predictably, you know, predictably chaotic all the time. I enjoy being able to
Oh
reflect
no, we
on
loved it. We loved
all
it.
of my dreams and then make them. And yeah, that's why I say that mayhem is also all these gothic dreams. It's like all of my dark all of my dark
Gaga.
dreams
She's
and
back. Very cool.
all of the different things they mean and how they come alive, and it's all in one place, and it's total mayhem, and it's like completely me, and it's my gift to my fans.
Hello, guys. Tomorrow, my reaction will be posted. I promise. I'm going to probably film an intro, refilm an outro, but I'm excited. Are you excited? I cannot fucking believe it.
Through the concept of the big
Also,
lie, and boy,
so
did we
important.
hear that tonight.
What a legend. Love
You
Bernie.
say something that is grossly
Love
false,
Bernie.
say it over and over again, and have right-wing social
Sick
media
world.
blast it out endlessly.
And guys, that was my pre-album release reaction. I am so excited. The track that I'm claiming is Garden of Eden. I already know that I'm gonna love that track. But also Blade of Grass, hearing her say that that's about like how she wanted to be proposed to. That sounds so beautiful. I cannot wait. I'm so hyped. My reaction will be posted very soon. It is currently 2 in the morning. Oh, as I am editing this. Just know I love you. I appreciate you. And thank you for watching. Let me know what you thought and tell me, are you excited? It's even listenable in, I think, a few regions right now. So that's heartbreaking and I'm so sad, but I'm excited. Love you.
And then I would choose like 20 to 30 fans to come backstage, and I'd hang out with everyone and ask them about their lives, and it helped me get
I'm
to know
worthless.
who I was singing to.
I am worthless. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to subscribe and follow your bitch on Twitch. I am trying so hard not to be such a messy cunt, or to be a little more appropriate, I'm trying very hard not to be a messy madam. And please make sure you subscribe. And like I said, follow your bitch on Twitch. And also, please leave a comment. I respond to every single comment, or at least I do my best to respond to every single comment. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you very, very soon. Love you.